Give me just a second, guys. We're not even going to do the whole countdown timer again, but I do got to share everything back out. So that's solid. At least you know now the microphone's going to be on. Almost there. Hold on 1 second. Super cool stuff we're going to get into and talk about, though. I talked about all kinds of stuff. We just missed a lot of stuff.
Tired of searching for CE hours that...
Nice. Commercials. Can't beat the commercials. Right, almost shared out, then we're going to get going. So ridiculous. Leave it to Totes to mess that one up. It's funny because I had so many different things going. Then we're going to talk about some other really cool stuff also. Very TCW related. All right. Alrighty then. It's alright. All right, let's try this one more time. Hey, we're going to get right into it. I don't want to talk about a whole bunch. Yep, round two, fight. I don't want to get into, I don't want this podcast to get too deep without talking about the main thing, because there's got to be things that people came here to hear, and it's right in the title. What is the SSU, and what is the TCW doing? It's different than anything other people are doing. This is not a crossover event. Let's start with that. It's not some crossover event. It's not about dissing other people. Because look, before TCW and the SSU even tried doing this, which nobody else is doing, by the way, once I explain it, I hope you get it a little bit better. I wanted Solo to be on, but then we'll get sidetracked. So maybe Solo will come on later, maybe he doesn't. What we're doing... Let's back up to before. TCW's doing their thing, and people hear this, and when they hear me say this, they're like, "Well, I recognize everybody." No, you don't. If you can't tell me, and this is what I mean by I don't recognize other E-federations. One, I need all E-federations to do phenomenal. Rising tides raise all ships, right? But I do not recognize inside my show other E-federations, and neither do you if you own one. If you do, tell me this. If you recognize the TCW, tell me this. You tell me, how many world champions has TCW had? Oh, you can't. And I couldn't tell you yours either. So it's impossible to do that. So we don't recognize each other's E-federations in that way. You can't do it. And it's not, I'm not bagging on you. I'm not bagging on me. I can't do it. It's too much. When I show you guys, we'll come in here. I'm probably going to fix this again. Yep, I do. When we come in here, let me get this up real quick. Let me move this over here. Perfect. Oh, and there now it's back. When we come over here and we look at this, there's no way that you can tell me that you recognize all these people. You don't even know what the history is. Now, I do something that's super unique where I post my spreadsheet in my Discord. You can look at this anytime you want. You can look at who our world champions are. You can look at who the hardcore champion is, who this champion is, how these belts made it through. Right inside here, right inside these, Universal World Champion. This is the season and the episode that this title match took place. Cody Rhodes versus Totes My Goats on Meltdown, Season 2, Episode 11. It was a 4-way elimination. Go check it out. You can. I've got it on all of these, so you can check out all of these. But it shows our title holders. It shows their reigns. It shows who they won against, who they lost against. It shows all that stuff. It's too much for anybody else to know. You know? It just is. So now when you start talking about wrestlers where you're like, hey, are you going to be in the SSU or are you going to be in the TCW? They're like, oh, my wrestler's too big. I'm going to be in both. No, you're not. And here's why. We're talking about what, and this is why this is different. This isn't a crossover event. This isn't even a merging of companies because we're not doing that either. We're talking about you have the SSU inside of a universe, and you have the TCW inside of the universe. You have Triple Beat. His E-Federation is in his universe. What we're talking about doing is taking the SSU and the TCW, keeping them the same, and putting them inside one universe, where now I do have to recognize the SSU's title history. And I can recognize it. Now, we can actually talk about some really, really cool storylines. Where what if Andrew Dubbs left the TCW and signed an SSU contract? That'd be huge. I'd be like, what if Triple H had left the WWE and went and signed with ECW? That'd be huge, right? Right now, you can't have those storylines. A lot of you wrestle in a lot of our universes. Witcher wrestle. I turn on all kinds of programs that I don't even know who the people are, and Witcher's on their show. You know what I mean? So you can see Matt Storm in everybody's show. You can see all these other people in everybody's show, and that's fine. There's not right and wrong ways to do it. But what I'm saying is what we're trying to do is take 2 E-Federations in one universe. That's crazy. Maybe it works and maybe it doesn't. You have other people, trying to, I'm going to fight the TCW. I'm going to fight the SSU right now. No, you're not. We almost allowed it to happen, but it doesn't work. Hell, half you'd lose your entire rosters. A lot of people don't realize, but I'm the guy who makes most TCW wrestlers. So it's a big thing. It's like it's a pretty big deal. And then here's the next part, and this is the other part I really wanted to talk about. I listen to people cut their promos, and their promos are about wins and losses. That's the UFC. That's not even wrestling. Like, if you're talking about the UFC where wins and losses are the only thing that matters, good job. Good job, guy. But that's not the only thing that matters in the TCW. That's not the only thing that matters inside the SSU. We tell storylines. Your wrestlers tell stories in the ring. When you lose matches, that's part of a story. Now, don't get me wrong. I can't tell you who's going to win and lose the matches. So I've got to make the storylines up based off, when, you do win, you do lose. But losing's not the end of the world. Matter of fact, we had Sentinel lost 20-something straight matches, like 28 straight matches. Like, he was winning and losing and, like normal, everybody. And then lost like 28 straight matches. And now he's a 4-time world champion. You know what I mean? So there's stories behind all of it. And you guys don't love or like or dislike the characters because of their win-loss record. You guys couldn't even tell me what their win-loss record is. If you watch the LTD, there's 8 men in every match almost. That's 7 losers. There's 7 losers in every single match. Not every single, but a lot of them. Does that make you not like his wrestlers even more? Like, Totes over there can't win a match. Oh, we don't like Totes. No. So it's not about that. This isn't the UFC. This is wrestling. Now, some E-federations are run like UFC. If that's what you want, like, they're out there. Go get them. It's just TCW's not one of them. Yeah, we focus on, oh, this guy's a multi-time world champion, or, oh, these people are multi-time tag champions, because it's a storyline and a narrative that we're driving. So, there's that. Doing a lot of other super cool stuff. And matter of fact, though, who's got questions? Let's talk about that. Anybody have any questions about what I'm talking about right now? And speaking of all of it, The Beast, Primetime, Sped, Digital Dogs, Dark Witcher, Triple Beat. Welcome to the show, guys. Really appreciate all of you being here. I don't know, Jamar, welcome in. I know Weapon X was here earlier. Look, there's JB Famous. If you guys don't know who that is, that's the Lord. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, man, I'm going to tell you, one of the most unique, you look at Triple Beat, doesn't yours, I don't want to mess these up. You have Monstar that does the monsters. That's pretty entertaining. But Triple Beat, I think, he pre-records his. I think he does a pre-recording. What's funny, that's how I started. My first 3 episodes, you won't see them, but that's how I started. You want to talk about hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours of editing? That's what you're getting right there. I like doing it live because I want you guys to know that your person won or lost. Don't get me wrong. Your person won or lost, like, I don't control that. I do control the story, though, and I've got to be able to make the storylines up on the fly. Yeah, that's what I used to, and man, it was so long. And I wasn't that good at it. Like, Triple Beat, phenomenal at doing it. So I'm going back up here just to see if anybody has asked any of the questions, because I really want you guys to understand what we're doing here. There's other show owners that I don't think they get it either, because they're used to doing a crossover event, which, look, crossover events are hard too. Like, that's not going to be easy, but this is long term. This is like when you had the WWE, the WCW, and the ECW all kind of going at the same time. Do you realize they rarely ever acknowledged, they just called them the other guys, or the that, or the this, or the whatever, or the other federation, or the, they didn't recognize each other's championships. They didn't recognize anything. And it wasn't until WWE bought out WCW and ECW that they were like, they finally recognized the other members, or the other championships, the other championship runs. Now, other shows recognized it, right? They would say Ric Flair won X number of WWE titles, and he won X number of WCW titles, X number of NWA titles. But those are people outside the company. Inside the company, it's hard enough to run the company as it is. How would I even know what? How would I know what? I don't even know what Triple Beat's titles are, to be fair. I'm going to assume there's a world title in there somewhere. Maybe it's not even called the world title. I've seen those shows too. But I'm going to assume there's a world title. No idea who holds it. No idea who's winning it. I know the wrestlers that wrestle, like the name of the wrestlers that wrestle in Triple Beat's thing, but I don't know the history, and there's no way for him to know the history of us. Even if you showed up and you saw that, yeah, one time, man, Totes at one time was holding a world title, and at another time, Witcher was holding a United States title, But how many? Why? You know what I mean? Like, we don't know, man. Man, Witcher won. I really appreciate buying the tickets, man. That's and Sped. man, you always go above and beyond for real. Like you guys, I'm going to show you guys a little bit later. We are going to talk about the AI stuff as well. I just wanted to talk about this real quick. That way people started to understand, because people are getting mad and they're, I get to see the stuff that goes on in the SSU chat too. And, and there's stuff that goes on in TCW chat, and, people are like, oh, you're selling out to this guy and that guy, or you're doing this on that guy. And this is going both ways. This isn't a one-way street, right? No, we're not. All I want to do for your guys as wrestlers is make them look as good as we can. Sometimes you're going to be putting over other wrestlers, and sometimes you're going to be the one getting put over. You got to play into the character and enjoy it. If let's say this, for instance, let's say me and Sped, our characters are wrestling, right? Drew Hawthorne and Totes is wrestling, and we're talking smack, and I'm like, oh, Drew, you suck, and Drew beats me. And then after he beats me, I'm like, oh, I don't recognize that because you're terrible. You're the worst guy ever. You're terrible. What's that say about me? I just lost to a guy who doesn't know how to wrestle? Like, that's dumb. I just made myself look stupid. You know what I mean? So, yeah, no, then that's what I mean. Triple beats, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying the same thing. Like, so it's tough. That's why, like, if I knew, let's say Triple Beats came in and he wrestled now in the TCW. When I introduce him for the first time, I'll be like, oh man, he's coming from this other indie federation and da-da-da-da-da. Because if you watch the history of the TCW, we started out as the TSW. Yeah. We were a small indie federation. This is before I even knew anybody else did this stuff also. Small indie federation, just a startup company. We built and we built and we built. We started to get a little bit popular. Put out a thing where we got bought out by the WWE. Then the WWE started up the WCW again, WCW 2.0. A lot of you guys came in there for that. Right. Sped's on a roll. So we did that, and then we evolved where we left the WWE run companies and evolved into the TCW. We took our history and our titles, and some of the titles stayed, but we took the titles in our history, and now we've got the TCW, and now it's a bigger and it's a well-recognized E-Federation. I don't know if you guys know that. I go into places that I didn't even know, like, that they were, and they're like, oh my God, it's Totes, It's cool. And it's not cool because they're recognizing me. That's not the thing. I do this for you. I just want to entertain you guys. You know what I mean? Give you guys a break. That's why we don't do a bunch of trash talk. And you can. We got a channel in the Discord. You can get in there and trash talk away. Here's another one, not to get off the subject. Witcher, absolutely terrible at cutting promos. The very first promo she sent me, I was like, oh. It sounded like something, and this is all of us. This is me. But it sounded like something, if I was about to get into a bar fight, that's what I would say. Name calling and bar fight and type of stuff. So Witcher wants to get better at this. This is hats off to Witcher for doing this. She sends it out to me. She sends it out to, I believe, Blaze, Solo. I even sent it out to the Lord, but sent it out to a bunch of different people. We all gave her some feedback. She recut that promo, and it was next levels. Like, it really, really good. And so she's been doing it since then and getting better at it. I know Sped, now that they've got the Gift of Gab tournament going on. I know Sped and Iffy, and there's other people that are cutting promos and doing it. Prime Time, Brooklyn Jokers, I saw his stuff. But now that people are starting to realize that cutting a promo isn't about, I'm going to beat you up and take your lunch money and blah, 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 blah. What? And to not take it personal and to play into the stories now, people are getting really good at it. Like really good. Like I always go back, and this is what I told Witcher that first time. I said, can you hear somebody saying that in the ring? Can you hear somebody calling somebody, you know, a bad lady named C word in the middle of the ring? No, you cannot, because it doesn't happen. There's other names that, yeah, you could call them, but you want to refrain from using them until it's the height of the promo, right? And not every promo. Now it's impactful if you call them a name, like, maybe female dog B word, you know what I'm saying? Like maybe that would be impactful for the person that you're using it against if there was a reason. But you rarely even have to call people names. You guys should hear me talk trash on the Division 2 in the Dark Zone. I don't even cuss at people. I don't even raise my voice. And people get so mad and cuss at me and tell me all kinds of bad things, because you don't have to do that. Your job, your promo is only half of the story. You're only half of the storyteller. You've got to feed in to the next part. So remember. Yeah, but look, I think people should, and this is me, I just think people should use promos with the voice. Hey, what's going on, Temple? Welcome to the podcast. I think people should use voice because you could tell inflection. You could tell a lot by that. But, I've seen Witcher cut good things too with just words. I see people, the camera fades in and they're very descriptive. It's almost like you're reading a novel. Those are good too. I always find it funny, like Nightwalker Mordrin, or Mordrin Nightwalker, when he cuts a promo, he's in it. I could see him in the ring doing it. You know what I mean? So, different ways to go. What's going on, Derek? Welcome to the show. Nice. So there's a lot of stuff going. If you guys are members of the channel, you guys today got to see, I don't know, I dropped 10 to 15 new shorts using the different AI stuff. And we'll look at some of this different AI stuff that we're doing that we use. It's kind of crazy. It's not even kind of crazy. It is crazy. Like, we'll see. Let me see if I can get it up. Let me see if I can get it up on the screen. We're going to go back over here to this. I'm going to see if I can screen capture. Oh, not that. This one. Let me see. Looks like this. I know you guys would have to zoom in a little bit on that to see it. But there is just some of the newer stuff that we're doing here. I wish if I clicked on that, like, yeah, you can't see it. It'll be tough to do, but I've got where we put these things through the AI logic. Now we got all kinds of new photos and new things that we're doing, where we're doing the face scans now. Look at this. And so what I do is I take the AI image. God, that's not... It's not right. Let me see. trying to fix it. It's not going to let me do it, though, is it? Oh, there we go. Anyway, where we have the different face scans and stuff, and I know you got to kind of zoom in a little bit better to see some of these things, but it's going to make it so that when we go into the next season, we'll be able to see stuff. We have all of our brand faction. That's all AI. So now we can actually put it on t-shirts. We have all the different logos for pay-per-view events. We have the different tag team type logos for the stuff going on. What's going on, Solo? Welcome to the podcast. Oh yeah, this is next level stuff. We have all the different wrestler logos that we're making. We're still making some of those. The weekly shows, the branding and the badging, all of it's made through AI. And what I wanted to show you more than anything, see if we can do it one more time. If this works, this will be amazing. So this is look at on this side. This is all the different things that I've had to do, all the different stuff to brand. Like we made this. So I had to create Skullman. This is the baseball one. Let's make one right now just to show you. But this is after I've already gone through and trained it. You have to train the AI to do this, and this takes a long time. But now that we've got Skullman, we got the TCW podcast. I can go in here now and say, okay, here's what we want to do. Let's add because let's say we want to make a SSU / totes, like a dual thing. So we want to add Jay Savage, because I've done it to every single person now. And I want to say add these two to the podcast thumbnail and change it from the TCW podcast to the TCW / SSU podcast. Let's see what it does. Don't get me wrong, if you just threw that in right now thinking that's going to work, it won't. You've got to train. It's hard to explain, but you got to train the AI to do it. What's going on, El Toro? Welcome to the show, brother. Yeah, now we can start making t-shirts. So if you guys wanted t-shirts of your wrestler, what they look like in the game, and we're doing things right now, merch-wise. I'm setting up a t-shirt distributor. And they'll be a little spendy because I'm not going to order 19 Witcher t-shirts, to get the discount. So it's going to be like, it'll be onesie twosies, but it'll be the only place you could buy a t-shirt of yourself. So it's creating the image right now. Takes a minute. And not quite how we want it, right? Close, but not quite. It's interesting how it comes up with this idea. So now I'm going to say take out Skullman and move the title to the center of the thumbnail. It's hilarious. If you guys jump in and you just try to tell AI to do this, they're not going to have it. We've got a whole catalog of stuff. Like you saw the catalog. So we had to build master prompts so that it knows where to draw from. It's not the only thing it's done. We'll talk about some other things here also shortly. But I did want to show you, like, we have spent hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours, like, I don't know, probably about 100 to 200 hours outside of the stream building stuff for the new branding of like TCW. I've been helping out the SSU as well. I helped out IEW. They don't use it, but I helped it out. You know, I sent them some stuff too. So yeah, just tons of stuff. But that's the biggest thing. I'm gonna hang on for just a little bit to see if Solo could or is or might make it on. Oh, see, that looks way better. Now, let's switch the wrestlers and change their poses. That should be it. But you can see, like, typically when you get one thing and the one thing's coming out, it doesn't always go down the way you want it to go down. Quick other update while we're waiting on this, and then we'll get on to something else as well. So 2K offered me, and very kind of them, they can't fix the game, and so then they offered me 135,000 VC as compensation, which is very nice, except for I can't access the VC. So we're discussing that. And then they tried to tell me that they couldn't give me a discount code for the new game. I'm like, come on, guy. Okay, let's see how much they changed it. They didn't really change it at all. They kind of mirrored it, but still, I don't mind. Looks pretty cool. So we'll save that. But you guys have been seeing, if you guys have been watching the baseball, we changed that out. I changed the Red Dead Redemption. We have stuff now for the Division. Thumbnails for all of that, where Skullman is kind of front and center of all that. That he's kind of the show's mascot. So he looks, a bunch of different ways. But yeah, we go through and do hours and hours of that. Only problem is when I'm in there, I can't read what you guys are saying. Man, I tell you what, I spend a lot of time cussing at AI. I learned that if you do it that way, they get it. They try to learn a lot faster. They're like, oh, I know you're frustrated, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, but it takes some arguments with the AI for us to get through and do the things that we need to do. But again, we've gone through and did the 1024 images. We've done tag team logos. We've done 4 or 5 different versions of every single wrestler in the game. That's 97 wrestlers that we made AI versions of. Right now, I'm also in the middle of taking those wrestlers, which I had to take a picture of the wrestler in the game. Then I had to have AI do its thing. Then I had to have it resize it to a 1024 by 1024 image to be able to put it back into the game. Then I took that image and fed it into a face scan. So the AI image of your wrestler now, the real photorealistic looking AI image of your wrestler, took that to make face scans, which you saw what the face scans look like real face scans. That's a face scan of the wrestler in of the AI image that will re-upload. That means you'll always have the same face scan. Only problem I'm having is the skin color and skin tones. It's not taking that into account, so it's making all the skin tones pretty much the same. Like if you're black, it's all the same. If you're white or Mexican, it's all the same. Like, so trying to get it to do that is what we're training on right now, which we haven't got there yet. Yeah. And I took out the background to all that. That's the other thing. Once I do the wrestler, I've got to remove the background to feed it back into the AI to get it to do it. I'm telling you, then we got to upload. I have about 4 different things open. You saw the different channels. But when you guys wonder what your money goes towards, like you're like, whoa, it couldn't be that much. There's a lot of subscriptions to make this stuff. Like it costs money to put out better products. Free stuff only goes so far, I've learned. Paying for the different tools to use to get us to where we're going, that's where your money, all the money goes back into the channel, and that's where it's going right now. What questions do you guys have? Any questions about storylines that are going on right now? Any questions about anything? Like, this is the time, really the time to ask. Yeah, see, that's my problem. I was going to wait. I don't even know how long I was going to wait for. Even if you guys have questions about 2K26, I know a bit about that as well. But, yeah, no, and Witcher, I really appreciate what you do for the stuff and prayers. I still have your dad in my prayers. There's about 10 families that we pray for. So yeah, I remember the flock. Yeah, I'm telling you, the new thing that we just did with I wonder if this is a better way to do it. Hold on, let me see something real quick. Just checking to see if we can get this. Got to put it on the right thing first. Let's start with that. There we go. Now, if we went into this scene, what if I changed it? So this is the thing I'm talking about right here. Look at this. So that's what we basically did. What if the TCW was like WWE 2K, but instead of WWE 2K, it was TCW 2K? You know, you go back here, Now you've got Ozzy. That's her AI version. You got Dragunov, even though he didn't look like that back then, but that's his AI version. GC Rock, that's all season 1, right? Back 2K19. Now 2K20. Boom. And look, we had to come up with names and things to say. We didn't want it to all look the same. Got some tag teams on there. That's a pretty cool cover. Came up with the TWO edition, even though back then they were known as the NWO edition. Remember when we had the Scott Hall tribute show? So we had a limited edition. It's the only limited edition one that we've done. We've had 2 tribute editions, but the Scott Hall tribute edition. Rowdy, season 3. The deluxe edition. Because it was about when we introduced the Universal World title belts. Then we go into season 4. Expansion. Got some tag teams on there doing some things. And then the dogs, the special edition digital dogs version. Look at that. That's just nuts. Then we go into the next season, season 5. Sentinel, look at that edition. That's crazy. Deluxe edition, then the gold standard. Ozzy and Totes. At the time, they're the top 2 competitors. Then we're getting into this. The new blood has arrived. These next 2 are my favorite. Look at this. The Nightmare Deluxe Edition. Freaky. Then the Crimson Special Edition. And now we're getting into the SSU TCW Wars. You got Drew on there, Miguel Morales on the other side. Choose your side. That's technically season 7. That's this one. You have Rowdy and the Lord Arthur Stevenson. Contracts matter. Yeah, that's why we keep saying it. Then you got the 2 business guys. Owner of the TCW, owner of the SSU. And then, since we're caught up now, we're getting ready for 2K26. Well, TCW 2K26. The war rages on. This isn't a mistake. You got a TCW guy. Right now, you're going to have an SSU guy, and then you got Dubs kind of in the middle. We don't know. What's he doing? Then we have our next tribute edition, but it's part of the Legacy Edition, Sid B Tribute Edition, The Legacy Never Dies. Love that. And then this is crazy. Look at all the stuff going on here. You got Arthur, Totes, Jay Savage, Vipiro, JP, Rated R2K. Dual Federation Rumble Edition. Wait till we do that. Wait till we get that the Royal Rumble thing going on. That is going to be next level stuff. We have the different, it's easier to see it on here, but the different brand, this is one of my favorite too. Bark Squad Edition. What's going on, Smokey? Welcome to the stream. Yeah, argue with that right there. Best women's division, leaders in women's wrestling. Making Lucha great again. Yeah. Got our mass wrestlers up there. Ozzy winning the world title belts 10 times. Different advertisements. This is the stuff that you see on the posts that we put out. That's old stuff there. That's the old stuff. That's all the new stuff. Tag team logos. Look at these. These are very unique. The Hart Foundation, there's 3 ladies. Lexi kind of took them and just kind of outlined. The brand new TWO badging. Faces of Fear. Look at that. Freaky. 2 Faces of Fear. Walter's Brothers, The Bar, The Authority, The Outlaws. All this stuff is in the Discord. You can see it all in the Discord. It's one of my favorite ones. American Alpha 2. The Gate Crashers. Coming up with some of the smaller logos that they can kind of put it on. The Outlaws. Ozzy's in it, so like you got the Yellow Brick Road. The new Vipers. This is another one of my favorite. The Walker Sisters. Family. The Walker Sisters. It's all unique. So like we could make t-shirts out of all these. Walter's Family. This is another one I like. New Foundation. So, lots of stuff. Lots of things going on. We'll have to see. But yeah, I just wanted to get on here, though, and kind of go over some stuff. You know, keep it within about an hour or so. And kind of explain through some of this stuff. Like, it's not, hey, what's going on, Herbie? Welcome to the podcast. Hey, what's going on, JW Caliber? Welcome. But just kind of explain through, like, what we're doing so that you guys get it. You got to watch the SSU show and you got to watch the TCW show. Now, as we get further on, it's not going to be all about just the war between the two. We're going to have our crossover events, and we're going to have, but it's always going to be now then in the same universe until it's not. But Solo's going to be running the SSU. Totes runs TCW. That doesn't change. But now, and this is the part I don't think people understand. Let's say something happens and Drew's like, I'm out of here. I just signed with the SSU. We'll turn it into a storyline. It'll be a big deal because now he can go over to the SSU, and now the announcers over there can be like, hey, 2-time TCW world champion. Before they couldn't say that. You know what I mean? But now, with you being over there, now they can say that. What if, we're doing a crossover event and, Weapon X is facing off against Digital Dogs. We can say, oh, I don't know how many times it's once, I'm just make up a number. Oh, 3-time SSU champion versus, the 2-time TCW champion in the main event. Now we can say stuff like that, whereas before you can't. And it's not that I don't recognize other E-federations. I recognize all of you. Even the ones that failed miserably. You know how many people have tried to run E-federations and they're like, oh man, I want no part of this. How many messages I get, they're like, man, I thought I was going to do it, but never mind. Not going to be doing that. A lot of them. It takes a lot to run a good E-federation. We have plenty of people get up and, they don't do any of that stuff. You should see the stuff Blaze puts in to do all the stuff that he does. Amazing. Amazing stuff. So, when I see good products being put out, of course, I'll shout out all of them. Go check out all of them. You know what I mean? But just because I can't recognize you inside my universe does not mean I don't recognize you being, and it's not the same thing. Well, we respect all E-federations. Cool, so do I. Doesn't mean you're a part of my story, though. Like, I can't make your E-federation a part of my story. It's just, that's not how it's going to go down. Would love to do it. Would love to do it. But it just, you can't do it. You can't do it with mine. I guarantee, you know, if you're like, no, we're going to do it. You guys have seen my shows. Like, do you think anybody else is going to be able to throw down with some TCW stuff where they're like, oh, let me tell you some things. Let me tell you about a story about a man named Jeb. No, they can't. They don't know the history. They don't know the stuff. So that in order to do this, you know, Solo watches all of our episodes and I watch all the Solo's episodes. So that way I can take some of that information and put it in to our episode. So if you watch, there is bleed over and crossover because we're in the same universe. That's where we're trying to land this plane. We haven't quite landed it yet, but in 2K26, we should be able to. And it takes a while. You know, I watch other people, you know, they do the crossover event. Of course, that's not going to take very long. A month? Depends on what you're doing. How many shows you guys agree to kind of cross over with. Takes about a month. Me and Solo have been doing this now for about 2.5 months. Probably still got another 3 months to go before we can land the ship. Merge a universe. So it's going to be interesting. It's very interesting to see, you know, how things go. I don't know that Solo's going to be jumping on here because here in about 8 minutes I'm going to be jumping off here unless he jumps on. But I wish I could do a show right now. I can't. We might do one tomorrow morning. That's why I kind of jumped on and did this. I wanted to at least get on here, kind of hang out. But I really wanted to explain what we're doing so you guys can appreciate what we're doing. We don't run UFC-style shows. It's not all about, oh, you won and you lost. And if that's what you want, you're in the wrong places. I'm not saying that winning and losing isn't fun or suck, but it's about the storylines. You know, wrestling is about storylines. And that's, we're running a wrestling show. Me and Sol talk about this. Me and Blaze talk about this. Me and a lot of people talk about this a lot. And there are people here in our community that don't know anything about wrestling. They like video games. And they come at it from a video game side. And that's fine. Nothing wrong with it. There are people here that love wrestling. They don't even like video games. And that's also fine. And then there's people that like games and you know, the video games and the wrestling, which is also fine. It's all fine. We've made a place for all of you. But what we're not is the UFC. 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 5, if there's a fifth one. And I love watching the UFC. That's just not what this is. You know what I mean? This is stories. You know, I'm trying to get El Toro onto the roster. I can't now, but I was trying to get El Toro onto the roster, you know, and I'm asking questions. I'm like, yeah, so what about your guy? Oh, my guy beats people up. Cool. Don't know what to do with that. Glad he beats people up. Like, I mean, they're wrestling. But, and I'm not picking on anybody. A lot of people, when they first got here, that's what they do. They're like, oh, my guy's a badass and he beats everybody up. Okay, I've got a roster full of 97 people that are badasses and beat everybody up. What else? Because we need a story to tell. Typically, when I create you, I'll need something, right? Like, this happened with Digital Dogs. I needed a smaller wrestler, so when I created Digital Dogs, I laugh about it now, but I create Digital Dogs. He's a small guy. The first 2 episodes in Digital's like, I want to be this big guy like Kane and do the thing. Only guy I've ever done this with, where I just kind of took him off the show for a little bit, and when I brought him back, he was this monster. We had a story, and we had a reason why it happened. It'll never happen again. So don't think if you could tell a story that all of a sudden that's going to be okay and that's how you get around. No. It's not. Digital Dogs was a one-off, and now everybody loves Digital Dog's character. But at the time, I didn't need a big guy. I had too many big guys. Matter of fact, I've gotten rid of a lot of big guys. R2K, when we started out this year, sends me this 7-foot dude. I'm like, you're not 7 feet. Like, I've got all of your, just so you guys know. Another funny one. I have all of your informations. Look at this. 5'7", 165. That's Spider. Some of you guys have the 5'10", 238. That's Jakai. Jameson Emerald, 6 foot, 230. Johnny C, 5'11", 205. JP, 5'10", 193. Think about that. JP goes up against some big boys, and he's 5'10", 193. Logan Windsor, 6'7", 275. Here's all your finishing moves. Here's the name of them. So I've got all that stuff. Like that doesn't change when you send me like stuff and you're like, oh, now I'm going to be 7 foot. No, you're not. Now, I did this with Eagle Star. We built Eagle Star to, when you first see Eagle Star in the universe, very skinny guy. And then we added a little bit of weight to him, and I changed his physique a little more so it looked like he had lean muscle. And then he had a little bit more muscle, then a little bit more, and then all of a sudden now he's bulked up with the muscle. He gained, 15 pounds. But it was a gradual climb into that. It was not because I'm more about the realism over anything. I don't want 800-pound dudes jumping off the top rope. I don't want it. Rarely do you ever see it. And then everybody's argument typically is, well, do you remember back in the day Hugh Morris did it? Do you remember back in the day Kane came off the top rope? Okay. You're using one-offs wanting to be, but I've already probably got the one-offs that wrestle inside the TCW already. So it's going to be hard to find a one-off that makes sense. And I'm even trying to get rid of more people. Right now we have 4 giant archetypes in our universe. 5 if you count, technically, Crimson is 5. 1 tag team, Digital Dogs and Bobby O. That's it. I got rid of the rest of them. I took people from super heavyweights back down to heavyweights. Yeah, maybe they're larger heavyweights, but took them back down. Because we're just not going to have that. Yeah, JW, that's exactly right. Yeah, that's the other thing. When Witcher started like really using magic, we made her skin paler and paler and paler and paler. Despite and Witcher didn't want to do it. She's like, hey, put the color back in my skin. Then she stopped using magic. I put the color back in her skin, and she was like, hey, make me the white version again. So all this stuff is there for a reason. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, and look, sometimes too, it takes a little bit. You mean my AI version or me in general? As far as the Undertaker goes. Hold on, I'm just reading through some of the stuff. Yeah, but look, guys, just at the end of the day, that's what it's about. We're trying to do something that never gets done. This has never been done. Even the people, like I've talked to people that are like, oh yeah, I've done that. No, you haven't. You haven't put 2 E-Federations under one universal umbrella with 2 guys running it. I've never seen it. I've seen a lot of wrestling now. I've seen a lot of people out there that do things, and I've never seen that. I've seen a lot of crossover events, but you're still not really talking about each other's history. So it's not easy to do. We're trying to pull it off. It's taken some time. There's been some interference from some other e-federations, and we kind of allowed it to happen briefly, and now we're just ignoring it altogether. Period. At the end of the statement. Yeah, I wish if you actually listen when they introduce Digital Dogs, they say 7 foot, but if you look at his character on my thing, and I can't go online to show it, but he's 7'4". There's a way to glitch the character. He doesn't look any taller, but you can't look any taller than 7 foot, but you can glitch the stats to where it looks like he's 7'4" by the statistics, but kind of funny. Yeah, so there's that. But we'll finish off with this because it doesn't look like Solo's going to be able to make it anyway. I've got another call I got to get on here in a little bit. But let's finish up also with some 2K26 talk. There's some really cool stuff that's coming out that people aren't talking about. One of the things that people are talking about is there's going to be 200 cost slots now and 2,000 image slots, which is good. They doubled the size. I wish they would go 200 cost slots and like 3,000 to 4,000 on the images. That would be amazing for us, especially with what we're doing with the AI now. We've got a lot of things working, so I wish we could do that. We can't. I'll take what we can get. Don't get me wrong. And just so you know, there will be no 200 wrestlers in the TCW. Like, you guys, there are times that 7 episodes go by and one of the wrestlers hasn't been able to make it in. Actually, quite a few of the wrestlers, to be fair, can't make it in because even at 97 wrestlers, that's a lot. But what it will allow us to do is with this crossover, and this is why we've got to wait until 2K26 comes out with the 200 cost slots, I can now download some of the SSU wrestlers so we can get the SSU wrestlers and the TCW wrestlers into a 30-man rumble. I can't download 30 or 15 SSU wrestlers right now. I don't have the slots. He doesn't have the slots. Like, nobody's got the slots for that. So now we will. So it'll make the crossover stuff a lot easier to do. The cross-promotional pay-per-view events, it'll make those easier to do. So that's great. That's really good. They're doing where before last year we could finally favorite moves and kind of say how often or how unoften we want them to do it. Is it a rare thing? Are they trying to do it every match? Is it going to be anytime in the match, early in the match, late in the match? They now came out with a thing called move sequences, and you can add up to 10, 3 per character, but up to 10 sequences, up to 10 moves in a sequence. And each wrestler gets 3 sequences that can be programmed. If you guys really know about wrestling, the cool thing about that is if you really wanted to make luchador wrestling, you can now do it. American wrestling, you put 3 to 5 moves. Luchador wrestling, it would have been 7 to 10 moves into a sequence. Really 7 to 12 moves, but into a sequence of moves. Now you can do that. So that's going to be super cool. They are improving the AI logic. They've improved the weapons physics and the AI's weapons physics. So I'm hoping the AI is supposed to be wrestling more and more and more and more like their wrestlers. So typically what I do when I start creating somebody's moveset, I save a moveset to the character, then I go in and I recreate it. So now you've got the logic of the move set, probably 3 deep logic in the move set, AI logic. There's like 3 to 4 layers of that onion that's going to be in there, which is amazing. You have the gameplay sliders. You have the wrestlers' personalities and how they act. You have all of that. Ask it different, Dubs. And by the way, welcome to the show. What do you mean when you say, do we lose community creations? Because no, that's the answer. No. Matter of fact, community creation just got a lot more in depth. Now, especially with the hair physics, if you guys haven't really been paying attention to the screenshots that have been released, the hair looks way better now that we got rid of last gen. Now that last gen is out, the AI is getting better. There's actual weapons physics in the game. Now you could take a kendo stick and apply a submission hold using the kendo stick. It'll probably work with like a baseball bat and some other things, but there are some now unique moves that used to be in the game, but unique moves while using a weapon. But yeah, we're definitely not losing community creations. Now they've got a new hair blending feature, so now you can use dual color hair and different ways to blend the colors in. Right now, I'll do things and it doesn't blend at all. The hair doesn't blend. So like it's a black streak in the hair and I'm like, gosh, why does it look so good when they do it and then I can't do it because we don't have the right tools? Now we're going to be able to have the tools. No. Now, it's not going to be shared between PC and console, though. Community creations will not be shared between PC and console. And everybody's like, oh, that sucks. No, it doesn't. If PC is crashing community creations because consoles can't handle it, then don't do it. Like, I'd rather the game run smoother than not. But yeah, with 200 cause, all different kinds of things coming for community creations. That's not the only stuff coming for community creations either. There's a bunch of different stuff that I don't even think we know about yet. But community creation just got a big shot in the arm. Just like universe mode just got a huge shot in the arm. It sounds like now with the battle passes, the DLC is now going to be battle pass style. So if you guys have ever played Battlefield or Fortnite, I guess. I've never played Fortnite, but they say Fortnite. They're going to be battle passes, so you'll earn stuff, but you'll earn it across all the modes, including universe mode. Now, rivalries will bleed outside of universe mode, so if you play into a play now and bleed back into it, the rivalries do move back and forth. So the only way to do this means that they must have fixed the spaghetti code, and now all the things are talking to each other. Fingers crossed on that. Yeah, well, but that's why I'm hoping that. That's why I'm hoping that. With the blending of color now, that technically I could put a black streak in there and then I can blend it in to where now it blends into the hair. Which is what I've wanted to do. So we'll have to see how the blending feature works. At first, I didn't either, but I've got a lot of time into the game, and because you can do it with My Rise and earn stuff, because you can do it if you wanted to play My Faction, because you can earn it in Play Now mode, you can earn it in Universe mode, you can earn experience points, XP, through all the modes. The only thing that will make it suck is if they will probably screw this up like they screwed up the thing. if they're not giving you enough XP and it turns into this utter grind, like I don't know anybody who plays this game that wants to grind. Like, I like grinding in the division. I do not like grinding when it comes to this. So if it's not a grind, it's just a matter of playing some things and earning some stuff, I'm fine with it. Yeah, a lot more stuff came out about the DLC, though, which I didn't like it at first, and now I'm starting to like it more and more, the idea of it. And really, it's there because if you don't play my faction, like I don't, they're giving you a chance to earn rewards where you wouldn't have to play my faction. You can just play the game however you want to play the game. If you want to play through Showdown or Showcase mode, you're earning XP, so you're going to be unlocking stuff. It's the seasons, unlike other games where they come and they go. These seasons, you'll never lose them. You can choose to stop. Like if there's 2 seasons out and you're not quite done with season 1, but the rewards are better in season 2, you can stop season 1 and it'll keep your progress there. Go to season 2, earn all the rewards. When you're done earning the rewards, come back to season 1 and pick it back up again. So that's pretty cool also. No, it's not true. No, that's the sad part about it. JW, it used to be like that, but now you're gonna have to buy the battle pass, and then you have to go earn the XP to unlock everything. Yeah, but 2K19's broke too. 2K20 was broke. I mean, 2K19 was a more stable game eventually, but it didn't start out that way by any stretch of the imagination. I don't want them to go back because that's just old. That's last generation stuff, doing last generation stuff. I'm glad. I'm not super hyped about this game either, but I'm glad that there is no last generation anymore, that we're only going to be on current gen, and now they can finally start doing things to take advantage of the current gen, not next gen. It's been current gen for like 5 years now, but the current gen systems. And I hope the PlayStation 6 gets delayed like 2 or 3 years. Fingers crossed. The only thing I do wish, and I think if you're like playing on the same platform, you should be able to import your cause like to the next game. You know what I mean? That would be an amazing feature. Probably missing something digital. If you go down, it'll be the promo page is called storylines, your storylines. So go under the TCW locker room, about halfway down, right under show ratings, it'll say your storylines. That's kind of where you cut promos on people and do some different stuff. Yeah, so the DLC, it's not exactly DLC, it's more Battle Pass type stuff this year. There's going to be 6 seasons. And in each season, you're going to have 120 rewards inside that season. You're going to be able to unlock, it'll be 4 to 6 wrestlers. But you're also going to be unlocking, God, what are those cards called? It's a kind of card that you unlock. I can't believe I can't think of the name. And I just said a little while ago, but you unlock these cards Where before you could only get them in my faction, now you're going to be able to unlock cards, and maybe not the same ones, but very similar, but unlock those cards inside of this DLC pass. There's going to be arenas that you're going to be unlocking inside the DLC pass. I imagine there's going to be title belts that you unlock inside. So there's going to be all kinds of stuff. 120 rewards. Like, if they do it the right way, 60 tiers are going to be free, and 60 tiers are going to be if you buy the pass. Well, you're going to have to earn XP inside the game, and XP can be earned across all different things. Inside Universe Mode, inside Play Now, inside My Faction, inside the Island, inside My Rise. The only thing is that you can't do is inside custom lobbies online. Online custom lobbies, you won't be able to earn XP because people just set up something to where they can kind of cheat the game, basically. And they're not going to allow that to happen. So I'm going to reach out just real quick and see if solo's on. But if you guys are joining us now, go back and watch the beginning. We talk about the difference, like what we're trying to do here with the SSU and with the SSU and TCW, how it's different from what anybody else has ever done before. Well, we talked about the AI stuff and some other things. Right now, I've got like over 1,300 hours in the game. I've probably got over 200-300 hours into the AI, making master prompts and commands and stuff. And I really hope you guys enjoy it. If you're a member of the channel, you have early access to all my shorts. And I just put out, again, like 10-15 shorts today. We have shorts that are scheduled to come out all the way through the 7th of March. But if you're a member of the Bark Squad, four easy different payments that you can do, starting from $2.99 and ending, I believe, at $10.99. But you can get on there, and all those different levels bring early access to the shorts. So definitely worth it. Got some new TikTok things that we've done. But yeah, just a whole bunch of new stuff. Very excited about all of it. I'm excited for you guys, and then what it's going to mean in the future. We're trying to work out the merch part of it to see if we can get that going. Let you guys buy T-shirts of yourselves. Let you buy TCW branded T-shirts as well. I want to buy some T-shirts. You know what I mean? So we'll have to see how all that goes. But it doesn't look... Yeah, Solo's not answering, so he's probably busy. It doesn't look like Solo's going to make it on here. But again, just wanted to make sure that we knew what we were doing throughout that stuff. I wanted to kind of touch on the AI as well, and give you guys a heads up. That way you guys can watch the SSU programming. You guys might see yourselves on there. You guys can watch the TCW programming and know what's going on when we're talking about the SSU. And it's not the only thing. You know what I mean? It's not the only thing that we're doing. Just because we're under the same universal mode, they still got their own stuff going on. They still got their own problems, their own issues, their own fights, their own battles. We still got our own fights, our own battles, our own issues. But sometimes we're going to come together, and now we can recognize all this stuff. So it's cool. It's very exciting. There's going to be a lot of really neat storylines that we're going to be able to tell. Completely new storylines that really other places can't tell. You can tell brief crossover storylines, but stuff that has a lasting impact, it just made every single one of you that much bigger inside the wrestling universe, because now you're recognized by a sucker promotion, period. They got a guy over there named Clint, just got recognized in TCW. He's signed an SSU contract, but still. Miguel Morales, not a world champion in the TCW. Now he is, because he has been a world champion in the SSU, one-time SSU world champion. So now when you see him on the show, you know, whether he's representing the SSU or the TCW, world champion caliber wrestlers, you know. So now when Drew goes to the SSU, two-time TCW world champion, you know what I mean? So there are those things where now it's even bigger, and we're bringing that story to even more people because we just expanded the audience. So very cool. We went over the stuff about UFC, the differences between being a UFC or a wrestling promotion. And again, there's no right or wrong ways for people to run their shows. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just telling you how we do it here. This is how we do it. This is how we do it. That's all I'm saying. And before we leave, I'm going to show you guys something, since I tried to pull off some singing business. Just show you guys my guitar. Look at the state of this thing. It's hard to get it in there, though. There we go. I was a 12th Fox in the Army, and one of my buddies started up a bar. But look at it. Oh. It's amazing. So, yeah, and see, that's what I mean. You know, now you can say that, JW, and now it matters. Before, it didn't matter. I mean, it was good for you, but it just didn't matter when I'm telling the stories in the TCW. So, yeah, now it's some cool stuff. But guys, that is going to do it for us here today. Had a lot of fun hanging out with you guys. We're going to be doing, we'll do some more podcasts, but we're going to be doing some more streaming. And if you guys aren't subscribed to our second channel, we are going to be doing some stuff over on that other channel as well. So I really want to move like the baseball stuff over to that channel. Move like the Red Dead Redemption stuff. Move all those kind of things over to that other channel. So if you guys aren't subscribed over there, you guys might want to look at it. Now, if you're not interested, you know what I mean? Like, you're like, nah, I got better things to do. I'm here for the wrestling and that's it. It's perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. Nothing wrong with that. But if you guys do want to just follow all the different stuff, I have a lot of fun playing the other stuff as well. So,
this season, you've got places to go, people to see.
Yeah, I got places to go and people to see, apparently. But we're working on getting that stuff going up over there too. That is the link right there to the second channel. And that way we can keep this more like wrestling centric and then have everything else that we do over there. But guys, really appreciate you guys hanging out. And yeah, we'll catch all of you guys in the next one. Peace.